How's it going, everyone? So it's that time of year before the NFL draft where every team's allowed to bring up to 30 potential draft picks into their building as a top 30 visit. And the Packers tend to use this top 30 visit to facilitate and do whatever research they need to do in the building to determine where they want to go. So last year, they had 3 draft picks in the first 3 rounds in Matthew Golden, Anthony Belton, and Savion Williams, who were top 30 visits get drafted, and then also 2 other players after the draft. So typically, I kind of do a quick synopsis and overview of all the players. So the first player for this video that the Packers have brought in as a top 30 visit is a wide receiver in Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. So for Ted Hurst, he comes in as the 13th overall ranked wide receiver in this year's draft class and is currently ranked 77th overall out of all the NFL players. For his RAS score, since the Packers do typically go towards high-end RAS score players, Ted Hurst scored a 9.90. He is an athletic freak. He comes in at 6 foot 3 inches, 206 pounds, had a vertical jump of 36.5 inches, and a broad jump of 11 feet and 3 inches, and of course adding a 40-yard dash of 4.42 seconds. So not only is he tall, he's got a wide range, he's explosive off his feet, and he's very fast. Now, for his time at the collegiate level, he spent 4 years at college. First 2 years he spent at Valdosta State and then transferred into the transfer portal and went to Georgia State. So his first 2 years at Valdosta State, in his freshman year, he played in 11 games, started 6 of them, only had 22 passes or catches for 431 yards and 6 touchdowns. In his second year, he finished as the team's 3rd leading receiver with 38 catches for 596 yards and 4 touchdowns. Then he entered the transfer portal, went to Georgia State in 2024, played in 12 games, had 56 receptions for 961 yards and 9 touchdowns. And then in his final year, played in 12 games, 71 receptions for 1,004 yards and 6 touchdowns. So definitely an uptick in his statistics when he transferred to Georgia State. Over on the PFF side, it only shows 3 years because at Valdosta State, lower tier school, so they don't really have too many statistics. But as you can see in his grades for at least the 2023 season, had a 55 offensive grade with a 54.9 receiving grade. Went to Georgia State, had a 74.1 offensive grade with a 73.7 receiving grade. And then in his final year, 82 offensive grade with an 82.1 receiving grade. So kept getting better, and definitely with the better program in Georgia State, proceeded to at least have better numbers. Now, so what are some of the pros and cons to Ted Hurst? So first off, he's got a very big build. He comes in at 6'3", 6'4", has very long arms at 32 and 5/8 inch, and very large hands at 9 3/4. So pretty big build, but he's not just big for nothing. He makes good use of his build. He's got excellent ball tracking, he has very strong hands, able to make the contested catches, and also has decent route running, especially in zone coverage. He's able to find the open spot and pretty much settle down so the quarterback can throw to him, make it a pretty easy throw for him, and of course, come back to the ball to ensure that he gets the catch. Now, some areas that he needs to improve on: man and press coverage. He does struggle against them. He's still very raw. And, he kind of gives some tells of what type of route he's running in man and also press coverage. So he does need to get a lot of work with a high tier wide receiver coach to try to get the best out of him and pretty much not give away what potentially route he's running. He'll also need to improve on his lateral quickness against press coverage and kind of develop a more consistent release package, as once again, he's very raw, so he's not able to release off of man or press coverage very well. Zone coverage, he's good, but really cornerbacks are going back to his zone, and he just finds the dead spot. So it's really just against man and press that he'll need to get a lot better at. And so right now, the projection for Ted Hurst is that he's probably going to go in the late 2nd round or early 3rd round of the NFL draft. So that's about where the Packers would have to pull the trigger if they actually liked Ted Hurst and wanted to go for him. He's definitely an athletic freak. He's kind of up on the uprising because of his measurables. He's just raw, so he's definitely going to need some development. And, the Packers don't entirely need a receiver. They do technically are a little bit deep, but they are probably going to draft a receiver at some point in this draft because, well, after this year, they only have 2 players on contract currently. So I can see the Packers going for a receiver, and this guy is very big. He's fast. We seem to be getting a lot faster at the receiver position, so this could be a potential player they pick, and he's also got a high RAS score. As of right now, they're also saying that he is projected to probably be a boundary receiver due to his measurables and how he plays, so not a slot receiver, which is better for us. We don't really need a slot receiver, especially with Jaden Reed. And then lastly, according to Bleacher Report, if you wanted to have a pro player comparison, they're comparing him to potentially being like a George Pickens type of player, not the attitude, hopefully, and the ego, but the player and his skill set. So not a bad comparison. All things considered, George Pickens is pretty decent. He's just a bit of a head case, but physically, he's a pretty decent receiver. So not a bad pro comparison from Bleacher Report. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll be making a video for every top 30 visit like I do every year. So you have an idea of who the player is, just a brief synopsis of them. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.